Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of John Matrixx Talks Movies. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me. Today, there's a major shakeup at Lucasfilm. The head of the Lucasfilm Story Group has apparently been fired from her position. Yes, that position was occupied by Kiri Hart. Kiri Hart was the lead of the Lucasfilm Story Group. Now, it actually did not say that she was actually fired, but based on the way that they've been handling things as far as, Kathleen Kennedy and everything, and, women in Hollywood, I don't think that Disney wants to come off as looking sexist. So, for example, when they actually re-signed Kathleen Kennedy for another 3 years, she's pretty much been just a figurehead. They didn't want to come off as looking like they were firing a woman. Now, Kiri Hart is apparently gone too. But I don't think they're actually going to come out and say that she was fired from her position because they don't want to come out and look sexist. Now, this is actually what has happened now. Apparently, she has just stepped away from her position and she's just now going to be a consultant to Lucasfilm. Now, that's kind of surprising because in a position like that, you pretty much don't leave that position and just end up being a consultant. Now, when I hear the term consultant, especially when it comes to Star Wars, remember, when George Lucas actually sold the company to Disney, he was supposed to stick around as a consultant, the keeper of the flame, as Kathleen Kennedy put it. But we all know that did not happen. They threw out his stories and they pretty much didn't want him around. And George Lucas even said that himself. So I don't know what that means that she's a consultant. I think it's just some glorified made up title just to make it seem like, that she's still around, but she's not really around. Now, I think this move probably actually came from Disney themselves. This is just another step in the destruction of Lucasfilm caused by The Last Jedi. Now, The Last Jedi just did more than just damage the movies. Heads have started to roll because they lost money on Solo, mainly because of The Last Jedi. Kathleen Kennedy has pretty much been put in a corner and she doesn't really say anything. She doesn't even seem like she knows what's going on. That's another, fall from grace for her because of The Last Jedi. And of course now Kiri Hart is no longer with the Lucasfilm Story Group. And apparently the Lucasfilm Story Group doesn't even know the title of Star Wars Episode 9, according to Pablo Hidalgo, who's actually on the story group. So somebody's lying. Somebody's really lying here. Either there isn't a title, but Anthony Daniels, who plays C-3PO, Mark Hamill, they've all hinted at a title coming. But anyway, I digress. But Kiri Hart, she's a big reason for all of the SJW politics that have been involved in Star Wars. So that starts with Kathleen Kennedy because that's the vision that she wanted. And it was Kiri Hart's job to implement it into the stories, into the canon. Now, I've heard that she butted heads with J.J. Abrams on this, Kiri Hart, who I'm referring to, about, certain story elements and things like that. But I really don't know. J.J. Abrams, he's back for Star Wars Episode 9. And apparently he has full control. That's what we're hearing. So that probably means no involvement from Kathleen Kennedy, and Kiri Hart was not involved with it at all. The story group itself is probably not involved with it at all for the most part. I'm pretty sure somebody's, dotting the I's and crossing the T's as far as like canon goes. But this is JJ's show, apparently. So he's going to make or break Star Wars Episode 9. Now, her being a consultant really doesn't mean anything. You had George Lucas there to be a consultant. You didn't want to listen to him. So what makes you think that they're actually going to listen to Kiri Hart now when she's just a consultant. George Lucas should be the consultant. I mean, it is such a dysfunctional mess over there at Lucasfilm. They can't get anything right. You know why they can't get anything right? Because they have no leadership. They have no president. They have nobody in charge of the story group. They have nothing. It is a complete dumpster fire over there. I mean, they are pretty much the Cleveland Browns from like the last 10 years, with the exception of this year. That's how bad it's been at Lucasfilm. Everybody's butting heads. You have people going and attacking the fans left and right. This is just another fall from grace from Star Wars. I'm glad that this move actually has happened. Maybe they can actually start repairing things over there and get back to the stories instead of the wokeness. Kiri Hart was a part of the wokeness, not the stories, because they have been putting out garbage stories left and right. Her and Kathleen Kennedy. So she's gone. Kathleen Kennedy has to be the one to go next and have a real president in place, have a real leader in place to get Star Wars back on track. Kiri Hart shouldn't even be a consultant. That's how bad it is. But what do you guys think about all this? Kiri Hart, gone from Lucasfilm. They're afraid to actually come out and say she's fired, but she is pretty much fired. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.